Stuff, not yet. Hello, my friends. Today we're going to find out about rejected vanity plates. Vanity plates are those plates where people mail in words or numbers they want on their plate that are usually relate to something they're into. Some of them are okay, and some of them get rejected. You're going to hear some of the rejected ones and why. And you're going to hear that from our guest, Emily Sweeny, who is a reporter and a journalist, reporter for the Boston Globe, now longtime reporter for the Boston Globe. And I knew you before you were even with the Boston Globe.
Yeah.
I met you at some Ozfest or something like that,
Yeah.
backstage doing, covering the rock show. Now you're a big time reporter for the Boston Globe. And it's a pretty annual list that comes out of rejected plates. First, why do they print the list of rejected plates? Because it's fun.
Well, actually, you know what? I put in a Freedom of Information Act, like a public records request
Yeah.
to get the list.
So they
It,
don't. You have to do that,
mhm.
and that has become your gig at the Globe, right?
Yeah.
Which is you have a lot of interesting gigs at the Globe, which we'll get to later. So there's this list of rejected vanity plates. Why do you suppose people want vanity plates? I guess the answer is vanity.
Yeah, it's a really good question, for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes people want a cool word on their plate, but I find it really fascinating just like the range of words that people try to get on their plates or end up getting. Some of them are just like downright weird, but
And also
subjective.
the innovative ways in which they try to spell their word and fit it on a registration plate. All right, so let's get into some of the rejected plates.
Yeah, so I mean, well, one that really caught my eye that I thought was, a bad, I don't know, like a decision to turn down a plate for was just the word like Latina. That got turned down, and the reason why it got turned down, the registry said that the person didn't explain what it meant, which I think, Latina.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, if you ask me. But so that got turned down. And then I looked at other places though that got approved in the past. And like the word Irish has been approved in the past. So, you know what I mean? I kind of called that out in my story.
Yeah.
Um, and then,
Shaking a fist at you, registry.
I mean,
Why I oughta.
and then
So,
another one that I thought was strange to get turned down was the phrase FOMO, FOMO.
right.
Now, you and I've always thought it's fear of missing out.
Correct. You'd
You
be
know?
correct.
Well, that was deemed to be possible profanity by the RMV, the censors at the
Is there
RMV.
one person or a group?
That's a really good question.
Is it
I'm
is it the
gonna
whim
look
of
into.
some like bitter person, or is
Yeah,
it a reasoned a core of reasonable persons?
you
We're
know,
going to get to a guest in a little bit who's really
okay,
into legal stuff, and
yeah,
I think you might be able to challenge this. I mean, it's not like it's a business, right, where a business can do whatever they want, but it's the government, and the government is restricting free speech that's not obscene. Latina
hmm
is in no way obscene. So I'll ask that question of Dr. Philip Kate later, what he thinks about that.
hmm
All right. Latina and FOMO
yeah,
rejected. And no, what was the reason on FOMO? Uh,
profanity.
could be profanity. Could be profanity.
I mean,
Well, anything could be profanity, I guess.
right? And then just a couple other ones that got approved in the past. I mean, again, just to show that some of these plates that got turned down, in the past, Big Butt got passed. There's somebody probably riding around with a plate that says Big Butt to this day.
How'd they spell it? Big
Uh,
butt.
Big Butt, Bigbut.
Big butt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Now, see, if I were it depends on whether they're talking about their own big butt or someone else's big butt. Correct? I mean, you can't go around shaming people with your registration plate. Like it's oh, it's my big butt. Next, and then we'll go to one of our guests,
okay, yeah, and also somebody got WTF, and that passed a few years ago.
which is profanity, as
I mean, I always thought
commonly.
it stood for what the
Yeah,
F.
yeah, which it does. So I think that there should be some sort of review of the process. I actually want that job. I think that'd be
Right?
such a fun job, as I mentioned to you. All right, let's talk to a guest here. Let's talk to Philip Kate. Are you there, Philip Kate? Hey,
I
there he
am.
is. Where are you
I'm
coming to
here.
us from? You're coming to us from New Hampshire, right?
I'm here in the bastion of free speech in New
Oh
Hampshire.
yeah, it's totally different.
So
Well,
say
it's
hi
funny.
to Emily Sweeny.
Hello, Emily Sweeny.
Hey,
So
how
nice to
are
meet
you?
you. I see you with my colleague Bradley there all the time.
Excellent.
So it's funny you'd mentioned the courts. There's at least 2 times that I was able to find very quickly where license plate issues have gone to the New Hampshire State Supreme Court. The first one is somebody wanted to tape over "Live Free or Die," and the New Hampshire Supreme Court, he was told he couldn't do that, and the Supreme Court said, "Well, not only do you have freedom of speech, you have freedom from speech." So they allowed him to do that. The more recent one in the Supreme Court of New Hampshire was a person had the license plate "Cops Lie" go through the censor, and then it was taken away, and he sued in New Hampshire, and the state Supreme Court said, "Yeah, you can keep it." So there's somebody out there with a. But it's interesting when Bradley talks about being the censor. There are some very specialized abbreviations, and if the censor is not familiar with that particular group, it goes through. I was in the service for a long time, and there's an expression. I mean, the service is the birthplace, the progenitor of any number of abbreviations. Perhaps you know the dilly gaff.
No.
No.
Well, do I look like I give an F?
Okay, yeah.
So that one made it
That
through.
made it. That made it. And
That's cool.
I was driving through town. I live in the southwestern part of the state. I was driving through town with my daughter, and she's like, "How did that get through?" And it was taint.
Taint, T-A-I-N-T. Well, okay, they were probably speaking of like the court's decision was tainted. But if you're going to reject
I'm
Latina,
sure that's it.
if you're going to reject Latina and FOMO, you certainly have to reject taint, I guess.
Not so much.
Okay. Wow. Things are.
Yeah. You know, another one actually that got turned down that maybe this is like a stands for something that I wasn't aware of was the letters NV, and I was like, well, what if somebody's like from Nevada or something?
Right.
NV got turned down.
Not the 7 deadly sin, NV?
Yeah, it was turned down because it was deemed to be, quote, in poor taste or possibly degrading or possibly a profanity. I was like, NV?
Does anybody know? Anybody what that's about?
You know, of course, they take the proposals and they put them in a mirror.
Oh,
And
yeah,
make sure there's no secret
to see if
meaning?
like when you look in your rearview mirror, oh, there it is.
Yeah. No, totally.
So they put them in a mirror.
Point.
Wow.
So you've got to get a mirror.
I'm supposed there are all sorts of coded messages that bad groups have that the censor might not be aware of, as kind of something you alluded to. And what's something interesting, Emily, I mentioned Emily is a hockey player still. I don't mean, she's old, she's still playing hockey. But for a long time, she's been playing hockey. And Phil here, Dr. Philip Kate, was a long time hockey
Referee. Oh,
12 years.
A noble
12 years.
Noble profession, my friend.
Well, you're the only player who's ever said that.
But he quit because it was a thankless job and people were mean, right? Or something like that.
Well, it was clearly a thankless job, but parents and coaches, the players were rarely the problem, except in adult league. I didn't want to get
parents.
hurt. Parents, awful.
How old? What age groups did you ref?
Oh, gracious! From the age of 6, and I did adult leagues. I did junior hockey. I did.
Oh wow!
I did the world championships for standing amputees.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah, over in the western part of the state, Marlboro. So, but parents are the worst thing that ever happened to a referee.
Oh man.
Yeah.
In any sport.
Yeah. Well, even what about the little kids? Would the parents of like the 6 or like 7-year-olds be yelling?
Generally speaking, in my 12 years of experience, the first time a parent laces up their child's skates, that's the beginning of the clock of their child being in the NHL.
Oh
So
yeah.
anytime you
Oh
call a
God.
penalty against their child, there's one little tick to prevent them from actually making. I'm the obstacle in a mic game. I'm the obstacle to the 6-year-old getting into the NHL.
Oh man. Oh.
Well, Doc, you're a great guest, and thank you for being with us. I hope you stick around and listen to the rest. We got to get some more of these names. And anybody
Of
else
course.
like to join us on the highly coveted secret list of invited guests? If you'd like to be, do what Phil here has done and join us, or be allowed to join us, be invited to join us to each of these. Somehow get me your email, and then we'll go through we will try to discover whether you should be part of the program. Take care, Phil.
Take care.
All right. So let's get some more of those names.
All right. Yeah. The license plates that.
Yeah. Registration fails.
Oh man. All right. Yeah. It's a lengthy list, but again, here's some weird ones. All right. Gatsby. All right. It was spelled GTBSY. Didn't make it through. Again, the reason was same for the Latina plate. They said that, so on the application, there was a blank that said, explain what this means. And I don't know if the person just did not even write anything. But again, like Gatsby, I think most people have heard of one of the greatest novels of the, 20th century, The Great Gatsby. Yeah, so it didn't make it. Another one that didn't make it, which again I thought was kind of weird, was just like the word dilemma didn't make it through. It was like misspelled a little bit, DILEMA. Fab, FAB. You know what I mean? Like the Beatles, the Fab Four.
Yeah.
Didn't make it through.
So do you happen to know if there's a procedure for challenging these? And again, unless it's obscene.
Yeah, see, it's
or provably obscene, or could be construed as obscene easily by a core of reasonable persons. I don't see why they can't challenge it and win. Maybe it's expensive to challenge it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
think
not
the best. I mean, just because I've seen them change from year to year, some plates get in, some don't. I think like probably applying again, it gives you a good chance, and yeah. I mean, do you want to hear some more of the ones that didn't make it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the word yuck, YUK,
Did not make it.
didn't make it because it said it was like such combination of letters could be an expression of contempt, ridicule, or superiority. And again, which is strange because like, want to hear some strange ones that I've gotten through? There are people
Yes.
driving around there's somebody out there driving around with the word stinky, smelly, gassy, itchy, itchy.
This is very funny.
Yeah,
Itchy.
bedbug,
Bedbug.
booger.
So that makes it through.
Booger makes it through. Cougar does not.
But yuck does not. Wow. How do they spell booger, by the way?
Booger, BOOGER.
Another question is, why would anybody want that as a plate? It would seem to be rather low brow kind of thing. Yeah, I'm booger. Yeah. I want to be booger. I want people to know me as booger.
If I ever meet that guy, if I ever see that plate, I seriously want to introduce myself.
Do you keep a recording? Do you keep a recorder with you at all times?
I mean, I always got my phone in my hand. I always have business cards. You know what I mean? And I'm
What
always
about-
kind of like, yeah.
Because the Freedom of Information Act give you the address of this person or the phone number, so you could call Booger and interview them and say, "What's up, dude?" Or
No.
ma'am.
All I get is just the plate. So if I'll have to run into Booger in person and see his car or her car.
At some point, AI or whatever the iteration of that is in the future will allow everyone to know where everyone else is. Probably you'll be able to buy an app that will tell you where Booger is.
You know,
There's probably it would
we
seem to be
probably have that
quite
technology right now.
you would be able to know the location of every car, every registration plate, and if you happen to know, where's Booger now? Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Booger's at the. I can't imagine Booger would eat at a very fancy place. Probably the Taco Bell.
Who knows? Maybe Booger's a millionaire. Maybe he's like some venture capitalist who's like just doesn't give a f. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
More of them that made it through.
Okay, made it through again. Like, I mean, the bed bug one got me. I was like, all right, maybe that person's like an exterminator. Maybe, I don't know. Like, Botox,
Okay.
made it through. Insane, made it
Right.
through.
Right.
Schwing
Really?
is a fun one. Yeah,
Yeah, man. That's one. Yeah. Okay. Next.
you know, you can read into it as you would.
Yeah.
Some of them are kind of like we're a little bit sad. Actually, the word "sad" made it through. SAD. You know,
Maybe that means they're sad, or maybe they have seasonal affective disorder.
you know that actually I didn't even think about that, Bradley. But I bet you're right. And lonely also made it through. Somebody's you know, has that on their plate. Tapped, TAPPED. Another one made it through.
Huh.
Let's see what else we got here.
We got
Another
a
one
little
says
Wayne,
stolen.
Wayne says, wasn't Booger a character from Revenge of the Nerds movie? He was a character in one of those movies. That's
Oh,
true.
okay, yeah. I haven't thought about Revenge of the Nerds since like I don't even know.
Right. Since you were in 7.
Okay, good call. You know what? I bet maybe that's the inspiration right there.
Still,
Thanks, Wayne.
why would you align yourself with this character? Interesting.
Right?
Okay. So more of the ones that made it through, those are almost the more interesting than the rejects.
I know because you know that they're driving around out there with these. Somebody's driving around with you know, the word stolen on their plate, repoed, sold it. You know, it's clever. Let's see. We got somebody's riding around with Nimrod on their plate. Bimbo
So
made it through.
that made it through.
Bimbo, yeah.
That's definitely, you know,
I mean,
pretty much of an insult.
right?
It's not something you would imply to yourself usually.
I have so many questions. I'm gonna have to do a follow-up story for sure on this because I'm just
Okay.
so somebody else says crazy lady. It's spelled CRZLDY, which is, you know,
Do you happen to know if the deciders of these plates, is that a full-time job?
Bradley, I'm gonna actually ask the RMV these questions because I'm not sure if it's a committee or a different person or a group of people. All they told me was it's the special plates department that reviews the plates. So I'm going to find out. So that's a very good question, and I'm very curious to find out.
Okay.
Who these censors are and how they make their decisions. You know what I mean? Because
And
Latino.
and also, do people take them to court ever?
That's another good question. I haven't looked up to see if any plates have, like, if there's been any litigation around it. I do know the RMV will rebate the money that you spend. It usually costs about $70 to get a vanity plate. And they'll send back the money if they turn you down.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Also, as far as vanity plates go, I quite would rather remain anonymous instead of having a standout plate. I think I don't.
Yeah. It's you know what I mean? It definitely makes you stand out. You know what I mean? Because, imagine, driving around with, Booger,
Yeah.
you stand out. Like everybody.
Okay. This is very, very good. Emily Sweeny, Boston Globe. And you have more going on, and we're going to talk about this because you're a good guest. Very, very good guest.
Oh, thanks, Brad.
And you have other interesting irons in the fire. For some reason, you get the fun jobs, it seems, at the Boston Globe. But I guess probably you ask for them. That's probably why you get them.
I'm always looking for stuff to write about. So
you have you're kind of their crime person, their crime history person, it seems, and you have a cold case newsletter or something. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so this is really exciting. It just launched a few months ago, but it's a brand new series that I'm writing that's focusing on unsolved murders around New England. And we put out a newsletter. You can sign up for it on the Globe's website, and yeah, and it's been going really, really well. I've been covering different cases, and I'm trying to highlight cases that some of them didn't get a lot of media attention when they happened at the time. And I've heard from so many readers telling me, like, can you investigate this case, this one, this one? There are cases that I'm like, wow, I thought, I'm pretty plugged in as a reporter who's been like doing research into unsolved murders for like months now, and a lot of cases I wasn't even aware of. So yeah, it's been going well. So
Well, let's do a separate session on that, and we
yeah,
can
I would
go
love to.
through some of the cases in the near, very near future. Is there anything else to talk about? I guess not. So anybody who's viewing this and feels like they want to be part of it, like Dr. Philip Kate, see how well that worked out. It's a new thing that I'm instituting, and anytime you see a topic, I send out an email. You got to send me permission to put you on the mass email, and then I send invitations. And you just, if there's a topic you like, you just show up at the time given. You don't have to tell me you can't come or anything. It's all right. It's very casual like that. And we'll talk to Emily Sweeny from the Boston Globe real soon about some specific cold case files and newsletter. And I really appreciate you reaching out and coming on, because this is a wonderful. If I was still on the actual radio, this would be definitely on a great topic.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, Emily. All the best to you.
All right, thanks, Bradley. I'll be in touch.
Okay, hold on now. I'm going to end the live part of this and chat with you after.